Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel. Luuk is here, well, almost here, and today we will discuss what exactly sets him apart from the other resonators. Should you pull for him or is he a skip? And why? I'm also gonna show you how to properly build him for maximum amounts of damage with the calculations, and also what are his best teams, both premium and also with options for F2Ps. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe, it helps a lot. With that out of the way, let's just get started and talk about what exactly makes Luuk unique. Well, he's the first DPS able to both apply and react to Toon Strain. Before, the only other character that was capable of doing this was lynae, but lynae is not a DPS, even though she can technically be used as one. Luuk fully completes the Toon Strain team. Before his release, we could only reach a maximum of 5 stacks of Toon Strain interfered because only mornye and lynae were capable of doing that. With Luuk existing now, we can reach the maximum amount of 6 stacks, and this is a big deal because each stack increases the total damage your team deals to the enemy. Unfortunately, this scales with Toon Break boost. The Lahai-Roi characters start with a base of 10, which means you are getting 1.2% extra damage per stack. If you really want to use this mechanic, you'll need a character that will buff the Toon Break boost of your team. Well, lynae is the only character currently in the game capable of doing this, which would increase the amount to 6% extra damage per stack, to a total of 36% damage increase for every. Of course, this will be possible only if you manage to reach the maximum of 6 stacks. Issue is that getting to that point is a big task. Even getting 3 stacks, it will take you around 2 rotations, never mind 6. Not to mention what happens if you defeat an enemy and then you have to reapply the stacks to the next one. Luuk provides the solution, kind of. When enemies afflicted with Toon Strain are defeated, he records the number of stacks they have and he applies this number to the next enemy that gets Toon Broken. This unfortunately does pretty much nothing for Wuthering Waves. He can only pass them to a single enemy as far as I can tell. I guess if he manages to Toon Break multiple enemies, or your team manages to Toon Break multiple enemies at the same time, maybe it will be triggered for each of them, but that's a big maybe. And in Wuthering Waves, there is always gonna be some kind of one enemy that is just gonna stay in some kind of corner and be able to dodge it. So yeah. And he can only pass a maximum of 2 stacks. So even if you manage to reach 6 stacks on one boss, even if you defeat it, you are not gonna transfer all 6 to the next one. You are only gonna be able to inflict 2 right off the bat. And because of that, this is mostly meant for challenges where you face short and beefy waves of enemies, or you face 2 bosses back to back. So you can stack strain on the first boss and then transfer 2 of them to the next. When you Toon Break the next boss for the very first time, you are gonna get 3 stacks right off the bat, 1 from breaking the boss and 2 from Luuk. And because of that, he will shine in Tower of Adversity and against holograms, but he will definitely struggle in Wuthering Waves, which to be fair is the case for pretty much all the characters released recently. Luuk scales with basic attack damage, and his best in slot weapon is obviously gonna be his signature, but it is a bait, because the new standard weapon Pulsation Bracer is an insane F2P option. They could have just changed its name to Luuk's Bracer because it was built for him. It increases basic attack damage, and the only condition is for the enemies to be in a Toon Strain interfered state. If you manage to break the enemies at the start of Luuk's rotation, he will pretty much have 100% uptime for this buff. And even at R1, the difference between it and the signature is of only 15% damage. And at rank 5, the difference is of only 8%. The only other character that I can think of that is even more F2P than Luuk when it comes to weapons is Carlotta. Otherwise, Luuk will be the complete king of F2Ps. Unless you really like him, I will just get the standard weapon and call it a day. I will not bother touching the signature at all. Rite of Gilded Revelation is gonna be his best echo set with attack percent 1 costs, and the 3 cost should be the Twin Novas. The Twin Novas get an empowered effect when you have both of them. I don't think it's that great, however, it's better to have it than not have it, right? Out of the 2 Novas, Nebulous Cannon is mandatory. as this is gonna be your main slot echo. It provides spectro damage and basic attack damage, and one of them should always be on spectro damage percent. The other one, you have more freedom here. You can either pick attack percent or spectro damage. Attack percentage wins by a small margin, but even spectro damage is gonna work perfectly well, and if you end up having higher rolls on the substats, it's just gonna be better than attack percent, so I will not bother with that. And since his best weapons are both with crit rate substat, you will look for crit damage 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁. For substats, you look for crit rate and crit damage followed by attack percent and basic attack damage. And if you don't have enough weekly materials to level everything, I know I don't after pulling for 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁, his resonance skill should be upgraded first, followed by his basic attack, liberation, forte, and finally intro. The intro can just be left at 1, or you can just upgrade it to 6, it does not really matter, it's a very small increase to his own damage. For teams, as I mentioned before, if you want to take full advantage of the strain mechanic, you will need both lynae and mornye. Lynae also provides 40 toon break boost, which not only increases the toon strain buff, it also increases Luuk's own damage. One of Luuk's passives increases his damage amplification based on the amount of toon break boost that he has. With lynae's 40 toon break boost, that will be 20% extra amplification. That is a total of 25% out of the possible 30, so lynae right now is just a placeholder. She cannot fully stack Luuk's passive. And at the same time, she does not buff basic attack damage, she buffs resonance liberation. She works with Luuk purely because she is lynae, she is broken. But sometimes in the future, who knows when, we will get a character that will increase toon break boost by 50, that will be able to fully bring out Luuk's potential by buffing basic attack damage at the same time. And if you don't have lynae, you can use 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁, you'll definitely feel the difference. You are gonna lose one of the stacks, so you can only reach up to 5 stacks maximum, and without toon break boost, even if you manage to get to 5 stacks, you are only gonna get a 6% damage increase for your team, and Luuk's passive is no longer gonna work. But that's not because 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁 is bad with Luuk, it's simply because lynae is completely uber broken, and if you lack mornye, then you can just use Shorekeeper. If you want to get the best out of Luuk, that's where the issue starts. He uses the same team as 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁, at least at the moment. He competes with her for lynae and mornye, and frankly everyone competes for lynae. And if I was to pick between Luuk and 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁, I'm sorry Luuk, but I will pick 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁 purely because 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁 not only provides the pillar for building your toon break team, but also for your fusion burst team. And yes, in the future this is gonna be resolved. 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁 is gonna have her fusion burst team and Luuk is gonna get a replacement for lynae, but that's pulling a lot, that's asking a lot, that's pulling for many characters. And at the same time there is some redundancy. 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁 is focused on toon rupture while Luuk is focused on toon shifting, but at the end of the day they are both different flavors of toon break. So getting just one of them in order to make a team around that for Lahai-Roi should be enough. This is my opinion and my opinion only. If you really like Luuk, then you should go for him, even if you have 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁. If you don't have 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗵𝗁, then Luuk is an easy answer, simply because you will need to have a team centered around the toon break for Lahai-Roi if you want to be prepared for future content. And even now, the shielding is going very, very hard. Those of you that plan to pull for Luuk, what is the team that you are going to try with him? Do you plan to go for his signature, or I convinced you to just go with a standard weapon? Until next time, have a wonderful day, good luck with your pulls, and see you next time!